Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to the recorded classes for physics. Okay, in today's class, we will be continuing from where we left in the last class. In today's class, the topics to be covered are as follows. Firstly, we will be doing unit vector. Then we will be doing resolution of a vector. And then lastly, we will proceed to multiplication of two vectors. Okay, so let's begin without any further delay. Unit vector. Unit, the name itself suggests unit means 1. So it is a vector whose magnitude is equal to 1. Okay. Suppose you have a vector A whose magnitude is not equal to 1. Okay. But this A is made up of a lot of unit vectors in the same direction. So this is one unit vector A whose magnitude is equal to 1. The letter denoting the unit vector is again A, but it will be coming with a cap. Okay. So same A vector, if you want to express it in terms of the unit vector, you will be simply writing A vector is equal to the total magnitude of the vector into the unit vector. So this is how you represent any vector in terms of the unit vector. So if you just put this one, you need not put this arrow. Okay, multiplying the magnitude with the unit vector, you will be getting a complete description of the vector that you are dealing with. That means it will be giving you the magnitude as well as direction. So that is what unit vector means. And a very important thing here, you should be knowing what are orthogonal unit vectors. Orthogonal unit vectors are the unit vectors along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis of the right-handed Cartesian coordinate system. That means Cartesian coordinate system means the system containing x, y and z plane. Okay, right-handed means we are just taking the positive side of it. So Cartesian coordinate system contains three axes: x, y. This is a 3D diagram, so z will be coming out of the plane of the board. So this is z. Okay, now if you have a vector directed along the x-axis, the unit vector for this one will be equal to I cap. So this is the first orthogonal unit vector. I cap is a unit vector along the x-axis of the Cartesian system. Then j cap is the unit vector along the y-axis, and along the z-axis it is k cap. So I, j and k cap are the orthogonal unit vectors respectively along the x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis. Okay. Now we will further move on to another topic for today. Resolution of a vector. Resolution of a vector. Resolution means breaking down a vector into the two components of the vector. Okay, we will be dealing with a 2D diagram, that means in a plane. Okay, and the components after breaking down the vector are called rectangular components of the vector. Say you have a vector A in the xy plane. It is oriented in between x and y. So it will be having two components, one along the x-axis, we name it as ax, okay, and the other component of the same vector along the y-axis, we name it as ay. Okay, suppose theta is the angle between the horizontal line, that is the x-axis, and the vector that we are taking, that means that we are going to resolve. Then the values of ax and ay, ax will be equal to magnitude of the main vector A, cosine of the angle, and ay will be equal to magnitude of the vector A into sine of the angle between this A and the horizontal line. Okay. If you want to write this ax and ay in terms of unit vector, as we have done just now, ax can be written as magnitude of ax and the unit vector along the x-axis, as we know it is equal to I, And if you want to express AY completely in terms of magnitude and direction, then you can just multiply the magnitude of AY into the unit vector along the y-axis, that is equal to j cap. All right. Now, if you combine this AX and AY, if you add AX and AY, again you'll be getting back A. Okay. But if you just resolve it into two components, A will be resolved into AX and AY, which are exactly perpendicular to each other. Okay. Now, a very important deduction here. Now, A, if you use the vector law of addition, since A is a combination of AX and AY, okay, mathematically the formula for finding out the magnitude of A was square of the first vector plus square of the second vector plus 2AX AY cos. Now cos, the angle between the two vectors that we are dealing with, that we are adding actually to get the main vector, it is equal to 90 degree. So it is equal to cos 90 degree. Since cos 90 is equal to 0, A can be written in terms of the resolved vectors as AX square plus AY square. The magnitude of the vector in terms of its components, rectangular components, is simply AX square plus AY square. Similarly, we can find the orientation of this A with respect to the horizontal. Theta is equal to tan inverse, using the same formula that we had deduced in the last class, the B by A. That means our B is AY and A is AX. So that is how we can use the resolved vectors to find the magnitude and direction of the main vector. Okay. Next, we will be doing multiplication of two vectors. We have done addition of two vectors using triangle law because vectors cannot be added using simple algebra. Okay. Likewise, we cannot multiply vectors using simple algebra. So there is a method to multiply two vectors. So let's begin. Multiplication of two vectors. We'll be doing two now. Okay. So as I told you, it can't be done using simple algebraic method. Product of two vectors, it may be scalar or it may be vector. If you multiply two vector quantities, the final physical quantity you are getting may be a scalar quantity or it may be a vector quantity. So depending on the final product, we are going to either do a scalar multiplication or a vector multiplication. Okay. Now what is scalar product? It is if the product of two vectors is a scalar quantity, then it is called the scalar product or dot product. Suppose you have two vectors A and B. Okay. If you, after multiplication, if you are getting the final result as a scalar quantity, then the product is called a scalar product. Now, it is also called a dot product because the symbol used for our scalar product is a dot. Okay. So just to differentiate between a scalar product and a dot product, we don't use the symbol wherever we want. We have to be specific. So if it is scalar, we use dot. If it is vector, that means after multiplying two vector quantities, if you are getting the final product also as a vector quantity, then you will not be using dot, you will be using cross. So vector product is also called a cross product. Okay. Now, A, B, since it is a scalar quantity, the final one, we can simply write the magnitude. That means, how do you get scalar product? By multiplying the magnitude of the two vectors and cosine of the angle between the two vectors. Okay. Likewise, A, B, you will again multiply the two vectors to get a vector product and you will just put sine theta. That means the product of the magnitude of the two vectors and the sine of the angle between the two vectors directed in a particular direction. So n will be the direction of the resultant vector after multiplication. See here, we have not put any unit vector because it does not have any direction. It is a scalar quantity. So you need not specify the direction here, but here you also have to know the direction of the final resultant vector. Okay, so that is the difference between scalar product and a vector product. Coming to examples of scalar product, you have done it in class 10, work done. Work is a scalar quantity, but work, the expression for work is obtained by multiplying two vectors together, isn't it? Work, the formula is force into displacement. It was still here in your class 10 basics, but now you will have to write F vector because force is a vector and displacement is also a vector. So work done is the scalar product of force and displacement, or you can write it as Fs cos theta. Okay, and again, since it is a scalar product, work is again a scalar quantity. So after multiplying two vector quantities, we are getting a scalar quantity. That is an example of scalar product. Like if you had force in this direction, okay, and the displacement was occurring in this direction, then this was the angle between force and displacement. Okay, and since it is a scalar quantity, we are just taking the cosine component. That means we are just taking the x component. So this happens to be from a resolution of vector f cos theta. So it is f cos theta into s work done. We are not taking this component, we are taking this component, or you can simply write it as fs cos theta. That was the formula for work done, isn't it? The direct formula was Fs cos theta. So that is an example of scalar product. Now, coming to some properties of scalar product. Scalar product of two quantities like A dot B will be equal to B dot A. It doesn't matter if you change the order of multiplication, because finally you are just getting a scalar quantity. You should not be specifying the direction. So scalar product is commutative, okay, and it is also distributive. Distributive means if you are multiplying A dot B plus C, then you can simply write it as A dot B plus A dot C. So this is commutative as well as distributive. Okay. Now we will come to a very important property of scalar product regarding orthogonal vectors product. Okay. Orthogonal vectors means I along this one, J along this y-axis, and K along the z-axis. Now these three are in a 3D plane exactly perpendicular to each other. That means angle between I and J is 90 degree. Angle between I and K is also 90 degree. Angle between J and K is also equal to 90 degree. That is the meaning of being mutually perpendicular to each other. So firstly, we will see what will be equal to I dot I. Two vectors in the same direction, okay. It will be the product of the magnitude and the cosine of the angle between them. The angle between two vectors in the same direction is equal to 0 degree. So 1 into 1 into 1 will be equal to 1. Okay. Likewise, J dot J, it will be 1 into 1 into cos 0 degree. Again, it will be equal to 1. Likewise, K dot K will also be equal to 1. So scalar product of the orthogonal vectors with each with the same orthogonal vector will be equal to 1. So I dot A will be equal to J dot J will be equal to K dot K, that will be equal to 1. Okay. Now let's see what will happen if we just take two different components and multiply them using scalar multiplication, that is I dot J. Since they are mutually perpendicular, of course, it is the magnitude, product of magnitude into the cosine of the angle. Mutually perpendicular means it is equal to 90 degree. Since cos 90 is equal to 0, 0 into anything is 0. So I dot J is equal to 0. Likewise, J dot K. Angle between J and K is also equal to 90 degrees. So cos 90 is 0. It will be equal to 0. And K dot I will also be equal to 0 degrees since they are perpendicular to each other. So conclusion, we can draw the conclusion that scalar product of parallel vectors is equal to the product of their magnitudes, okay, but scalar product of mutually perpendicular vectors is equal to 0 always, okay. Now let us move on like in the same manner to vector product. Vector product, it is a vector. So after multiplying two vectors, you are again getting a vector, that is called the vector product, having a magnitude equal to the product of the magnitude of the two vectors. So if you are just taking the cross multiplication of A cross B, the final result will be the product of the magnitude and the sign of the angle between the two vectors, okay. And since it is a vector, finding magnitude is never enough. We should also be finding the direction, and the direction of the new vector after multiplying in a vector manner is in a direction perpendicular to the plane containing the two vectors, okay. Like you have, if you are taking this plane, if I can show you here, this is the plane which contains the two vectors, okay, they might be oriented in certain angle to each other, and the magnitude will be just be obtained by A into B into sine theta, that is not a problem, but the direction of the new vector that we are getting will be in a direction perpendicular to the plane containing. So this is the plane containing the two vectors, right? Which is the plane perpendicular to this plane? This plane. So the resultant vector's direction will be in this plane, okay. Now to know whether the direction will be directed upward or downward, you need to apply a rule that is called screw rule. Screw rule, if you imagine tightening or loosening a screw in the direction from one vector into another. So if this is my vector's plane, okay, I will take the screw in this manner and try to tighten the screw. So if A is here, B is here, if it is A cross B, the screw will be moving from this direction to this direction like this, okay. So in doing so, the vector, the resultant vector will be in the direction wherever the screw will be moving. So if I rotate the screw like this, naturally the screw will be going up. So the resultant vector's direction will be this one. So this is C, that is the cross product of A and B. Now this may be A, okay, this may be B. So if you take the screw from A to B, okay, or B to A, if you take the screw from B to A, it will be just the opposite. So the screw will be going downwards. So this is how you find out the direction of the new vector obtained by vector multiplication of two vectors, okay. One example of a vector product is torque. Torque, tau, this letter is tau, okay. Torque is the vector product or the cross product of the position vector and the force. You know, torque is the multiplication of force and the perpendicular distance between the point of application of force and the axis. So this you can imagine as the perpendicular distance. So this is the force, and on multiplying vectorially these two, you'll be getting the value of torque, okay. So this is vector product, how you find out the magnitude and direction of the vector product. Let's move on now to learn some properties of vector product. Firstly, it is distributive like a scalar product, but it is not commutative. Commutative means A cross B is not equal to B cross A. If you change the order, you bring B here, take A there, and multiply them, you will not be getting the same result. The magnitude will be the same, but the difference is in the direction, okay. As I told you, if you take the screw from A to B, it will be going up, but if you take the screw from B to A, that is what you have to do if it is B cross A, okay. So B to A, the screw will be coming down. So the difference here is in the direction. So we can write that A cross B is equal to minus B cross A. Minus means if you change the order, the new vector will be just opposite in direction. Okay, let's quickly move on to multiplication of unit vectors. Firstly, I cross I, okay, J cross J and K cross K. Magnitude is 1 in each case. Sign 0 because I they are in the same direction, same vector. 1 into 1 into sine 0 again, and here 1 into 1 into sine 0. Since sine 0 is equal to 1, they all will be equal to 0. So vector multiplication of two parallel vectors will always be equal to 0 because the angle between them is equal to 0 and sine 0 is equal to 0. Let's quickly find out the vector multiplication of the perpendicular vectors, that is I cross J. I cross J is 1 into 1 into sine, the angle between them is 90, so it will be equal to 1. Likewise, but of course the direction has to be specified. The direction, the plane containing I and J, the plane containing I and J is K, so it will be 1 into the unit vector along the K direction. Likewise, J cross K will be equal to 1 into sine 90, that is equal to 1, but along the plane containing the perpendicular plane containing the perpendicular to the plane containing J and K, it is nothing but I, okay. And lastly, K cross I will be equal to 1 into the plane the perpendicular to the plane containing K and I is nothing but J. Okay, so this is how you find the product of orthogonal vectors. Okay, that is all for today's class. I will be giving you a numerical after the class as an assignment for you. You try to do it. Thank you.